What is going on, guys? My name is Private Boy. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so sorry that it's been so long. It's so good to see all of you guys here back on YouTube. For those of you who don't know, quick plug. We've started streaming on Twitch Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time and 11 AM on Wednesday mornings Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, today we're going to be doing a review on Hyperscape. It's a brand new Battle Royale that's just come out for all platforms. So you guys have waited long enough for me to upload again. Let's just get straight into it. So the best thing to start off with, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Hyperscape, is how innovative it is. You can see over here, just along the bottom of the screen, you've got these things called hacks. They're essentially just abilities that you pick up around the map instead of it being that hero-based sort of gameplay like Apex Legends. Each hack has a different ability. You got ones that you can use for mobility, one to get out of gunfights, one to be more lethal in gunfights, all of that good stuff. Another thing that's so innovative about this game is absolutely the zone. So the way that it works is each sector closes at a time. Instead of it just being the circle that closes in over the space of the game, you can generally tell where it's going to go. Every so often on Hyperscape, you'll just see a sector close down, and eventually you all end up on the one sector. And something else that feels absolutely brand new about this game is called the crown mechanic. Now when you get down to the final sector, it doesn't matter how many people are still in the lobby, you'll get a crown that will spawn somewhere on the map. You have to try and pick that up and hold on to it for 40 seconds to win the game. You can still win the game by killing everybody in the lobby, but if there's still 10 people left alive and somebody manages to hold on to the crown for 40 seconds, then it is absolutely fine. If everybody else is still alive, they still get that big old dub. So now I want to talk about the more in-depth things about Hyperscape. The first thing that I want to talk about is the pacing. For somebody of my playstyle that has been run and gun for their entire career. I started to play on Black Ops 3, that was the first game that I was serious about, so this game is absolutely perfect for me. It's 100% run and gun, jumping around, advanced movement, all of that good stuff right from the get-go. Gunfights, if you ask me, are maybe the slightest bit too long. I think you could probably do with making a few of the weapons do a bit more damage per shot, but other than that, completely fine. If they don't touch the length of gunfights, I'm really not going to be too bothered. It is in a pretty good spot, it could be better, but with the advanced movement system, every single gunfight feels different. Another cool thing that I want to talk about is gun balancing. Now the gun balancing across the board is generally pretty good in this game. There are a few tiny little things that could do with, you know, little tweaks here and there. So the way that guns work in this is you pick up one off the ground the same way that you do in any other Battle Royale. If you find another one of the same gun, you can pick that up and it upgrades the gun in your hands. You can have up to 4 upgrades on all guns, hacks, all of that sort of good stuff. Those upgrades can be pretty OP sometimes, so you definitely need to be looking out for those as you go. As far as weapon balancing goes, there are a few guns that come to mind when I think about small tweaks. The Hexfire, which is the gun that you see on screen right now, would have to be the most pressing one. I definitely think that you could do without a lot of the bullets that are in the mag once you have it fully upgraded. 270 shots is more than enough to kill probably 4 or 5 people if you're good with your shots. I think you could probably nerf it down to at most 250 bullets in the clip. I would put it down to like maybe 200, 210 around that mark. It just feels like if you get into a final sector fight, you're not going to have to reload the gun at all, and I just think that's completely broken. Another tweak that I would probably make is for the Mammoth shotgun. It does stupid amounts of damage. If you hit chest or above, it can be a 2-hit, even 1-hit on some occasions. I definitely feel like you could widen the pellet spread on it, maybe nerf the damage on it a little bit, but then buff the rate of fire or something. I don't know, I'm not a game designer, but it definitely does feel a bit overpowered. Talking about guns, let's talk about loot spread. This is, without a doubt, the best Battle Royale that I've ever played for loot spread. You don't really have many games where you can't find anything at all. You know, in Apex I run into a lot of games where I can't find any guns except for like a P2020 and a Mozambique or something shit like that. But I find heals, ammos, grenades, all of those sorts of things. You don't really get that in this game. At most you find a lot of launchers, but even a lot of the launchers are still usable if you're good at the game. But all in all, loot spread's pretty even across the board. Now let's talk about the UI. It is pretty much flawless. I mean, picking up guns off the ground can be a little bit niggly sometimes, but there are workarounds for that. If there's a whole bunch of loot just grouped up into the one area, sometimes you have a little bit of trouble finding what you want. But when it comes to using your hacks, swapping guns, reloading, the button layout, all that sort of stuff, the UI is completely fine. It's super intuitive, you know, coming across from your Black Ops 3s, Black Ops 4s, all those sorts of things. It's very similar to that, as you can see at the bottom of the screen right there. You got your 2 bumpers for each hack, and then the button layout's pretty much exactly the same as every other game. But for a game that's in beta, it runs super smoothly, and I can just remember like the start of Rogue Company, for example, the UI was horrible, and you'd always like go to be picking up teammates, picking up a gun instead, and all that sort of thing. None of that in this game. And we've saved the coolest thing for last. This is won the game over for me, especially being a new streamer and trying to find different ways to interact with my audience and stuff like that. Is definitely, you can have viewer interaction integrated into your game for streamers. So if you're streaming, you can get an extension for Twitch, but essentially you hook your Ubisoft account up to it, and it can show your viewers on screen with a little drop down menu, how many kills you've got, who's in your squad and how many kills they've got, your general position, stuff like that. And in the game there are these things called events. Now every now and then you'll get a new one come up. There'll be extra jump or infinite ammo or something like that. They work similarly to drops in Zombies. You'll get that, and if you've got that extension enabled on your Twitch stream and you come into the game and you get those events popping up, you can actually have your viewers vote for what event they would like to see. I was watching Coven on Twitch the other day, and he had the little drop down menu, and every now and then it would come up with the option of 3 different events that I could vote for, and all of the viewers on his stream could vote for, and then we would end up voting, and what we voted for came up in the game, and he would have to find a way to deal with it. I just think that's such a cool thing. You know, so many games, Modern Warfare in particular, don't really care about their players, don't care about the viewers that are watching that game on stream, and I think Ubisoft putting this sort of infrastructure in to have the streamers interacting with their audience while playing the game and have an in-game way of doing it, it's absolutely paradigm shifting, and I really hope to see more games doing it. So we spent the majority of the video talking about how good this game is. Let's go over the few little bad things, and if I'm honest guys, there's not a whole lot bad with this game. A massive issue that I run into when playing Scape is when I try and get into a gunfight and the person maybe doesn't have as good a guns as me or isn't as confident as me or whatever, and they are able to run away. Now, it's not the being able to run away that I have a problem with. It's the fact that they can sustainably outrun me over and over again. If I'm running, say, the teleport or slam hack with a invisibility or invulnerability or something like that, they can essentially have ball, which is a power-up. You can see it on the screen at the moment. It's a hack that you can turn yourself into a ball. You're invulnerable. The ball can take damage, and after a certain amount of damage, it will break. But it gives you so much more mobility than whoever's chasing you, and you're invulnerable. They can come out of that and then immediately go straight back into a hack called invulnerability, where you can't be shot for about maybe 6-7 seconds. And then by the time you're done with invulnerability, the ball hacks cool down. So I definitely think that the cooldowns on all hacks across the board could do with a little bit of lengthening. Maybe just by 2 or 3 seconds would be permissible. But yeah, I'm just sick of seeing people be able to cheese their way out of gunfights just by using the same hacks over and over and over again with no reprieve in between. Another thing I would change would be the crown mechanic. Now, it is a really, really good idea in theory, but it doesn't work in practice. It sort of goes back to my last point with hacks needing a bit of a tweak. The crown mechanic, you can pick up the crown and then just keep on popping your hacks over and over and over again, and nobody can really kill you. It's impossible to kill you. And I think that could definitely do a little bit of work. I had a game where I was Final 3, it was just me and 2 other dudes in solos, and this guy picked up the crown, kept on using invulnerability, and ended up winning the game with 0 kills while I had 14. I think that's just a really cheap way of cheating your good players out of wins. I think, and it may be just the traditional Battle Royale player in me. That was a weird thing to say. It may just be the traditional Battle Royale player in me, but I don't know, I kind of feel like if I've got 14 kills and he's got none, he should at least have to kill me to get the win. So I really hope that's something that they change in the future. And the final point that really doesn't piss me off, because they do rectify it pretty well in-game, but crossplay. They've already said that they're going to implement it, so I won't go over it too much. But lobbies do not fill out of peak time. I tried playing it like 11 o'clock the other morning, and I was getting like 20, maybe 30 people in the lobby that's supposed to have 100 people in it. I definitely think that for a brand new game, that's a bit strange, but the sooner they put in crossplay, the better. So we've got, you know, triple the amount of platforms filling into my lobbies. Hopefully we don't have that issue quite as much. So guys, thank you so much for watching. It feels so good to be back. Make sure you catch my streams. I'll leave the link to all of my socials. It'll be a Linktree link down below in the description. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. I'm definitely going to be hitting the Twitch grind really hard over the next few weeks. We're grinding real hard for affiliate. Share the stream around with your friends. If you're free, make sure you jump in. I'm really active in the chat, so just get in there. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.